I am completely invested with this Justin Baldoni versus Blake Lively drama. It gives me this feeling of the Johnny Depp trial back in the day because I feel like people like Johnny Depp and Justin Baldoni are so mistreated by women empowerment and by the Me Too movement as well. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, by the way, because they're the powerful couple, they actually sued Justin Baldoni for harassment, especially SA, and also went on a smear campaign against Justin Baldoni during the production of It Ends With Us. It's a romantic movie about, well, ironically, SA as well in the movie itself. I watched the movie yesterday on Netflix. Now you can watch it on Netflix if you want. And oh my God, I just left this ick and sour feeling in my mouth. Like, I love the movie, but I hated it at the same time because seeing how mistreated Justin Baldoni got by this powerful Hollywood couple, I'm I'm really devastated. I'm really feeling bad about this. But also, the good thing is that Justin Baldoni went on a counter sue and he will sue for defamation. And the whole trial is starting in 2026, you guys. But there is a video by the Critical Drinker where he titled it Production Hell. It Ends With Us. So let's go and check out this video.
You know, Charlie Rich once famously sang that no one knows what goes on behind closed doors. Now, he might have been talking about the complexities of marriage and the importance of putting on a respectable front in public, but it could just as easily apply to the art of filmmaking. As an audience, we get to see the slick and respectable end product, usually accompanied by a carefully managed promotional campaign where everyone involved gushes about what a tremendous life-changing experience it's been. But every once in a while, those doors get flung open and we're able to see the chaotic web of overblown egos, clashing personalities, petty rivalries and idiotic decision making that actually plagued the production. And wow, did they get thrown open with It Ends With Us, a fairly generic romantic drama about a florist named Lily Bloom.
Really?
Yes, I'm being serious here. In a troubled relationship with a surgeon, probably called Scalpel McDoctorface, whose life is complicated by the return of an old flame. Not exactly the kind of thing I'd rush out to see, but hey, it definitely appealed to its target audience of frustrated middle-aged spinsters who ease their loneliness with one too many glasses of wine.
Nah. Bring me a really hot man and a romantic movie and flowers and whatnot. I'll be watching, alright? I'm a Bridgerton kind of girl. Like, I will be watching.
Of an evening, raking in more than $350 million against a $25 million budget. Not bad, and for its star Blake Lively, it should have been a dream come true. The mainstream success that she'd been chasing for years that would finally elevate her into the ranks of the Hollywood A-lists. Unfortunately, that dream soon turned into a nightmare of multi-million dollar lawsuits and bitter PR warfare that would destroy careers and pull in some of the biggest names in Hollywood. In short, it's a perfect example of a modern day production hell. But in order to make sense of it all, I need to take you back to the beginning. Our story begins way back in 2016 when author Colleen Hoover published her novel, It Ends With Us. It was a big hit, selling over 1 million copies worldwide, and in 2019, up-and-coming director Justin Baldoni bought the film rights to turn it into a movie. By all accounts, it was a bit of a passion project for him, and he devoted a lot of time into perfecting the script. I mean, each to their own, I guess. Anyway, the project went through a pretty lengthy development process, and it wasn't until Blake Lively signed on in 2023 that things really started moving. Yeah, she was 35 at the time, and her character was supposed to be a young and impressionable 23-year-old, but what the hell? She was just the kind of big name that Baldoni needed, and the fact she was married to Ryan Reynolds, one of the most powerful actors in Hollywood, probably didn't hurt either. Yep. Unfortunately, this is where the problems began. See, part of Lively's contract stipulated that she she got an executive producer credit on the project. Now, anyone who knows the movie business will tell you that this is basically a meaningless vanity title that carries no real powers or responsibilities that they give to people to make them feel more important. But keep it in mind, dear viewer, because it's going to be important later. Now, according to Baldoni's side of the story, Lively showed up completely unprepared for the role. She hadn't bothered to read the book and apparently didn't understand her character. That didn't matter too much to her though, because she soon went to work reshaping it in her own image. The first thing to go was the wardrobe department, because Lively insisted on designing her own character's outfits for the movie. Hence the, interesting fashion choices that soon got snapped by paparazzi and lambasted by the public. The executives at Sony weren't happy about this and blamed Baldoni himself for the problems, which further added to the tension on set. It was also causing problems with the story because not many 23-year-old florists without a pot to piss in can afford an $8,000 pair of boots, and Baldoni had to scramble to rewrite the script to accommodate all this. According to Lively's side of things, the pressure soon got to him and Baldoni showed up in her trailer, promptly broke down in tears and didn't stop for like an hour. Either way, bad fashion choices would soon be the least of his problems. Allegedly, Lively soon started meddling with the script itself, changing scenes and dialogue on an almost daily basis, which slowed production and frustrated the cast and crew. She even brought in her husband Ryan to rewrite an entire scene to better suit her, because let's be honest, not many people...
And to be honest, I don't only think that it was all Blake Lively's idea, I genuinely think it was Ryan Reynolds' idea as well, because he saw how intimate and close she became with Justin on sharing this love project that they had, and he got a bit jealous, all right, like a teeny tiny bit jealous, to the point that he would be flying middle production of Deadpool and Wolverine back home, back where she is and the kids are, in order to meddle with this, to the point where he would be inviting Justin Baldoni to a party with other celebrities like Taylor Swift, and then in front of everyone telling Justin what to do with the movie. Yeah, that's complete abuse of power.
People are going to say no to Ryan Reynolds, especially not Baldoni. Their working relationship took another big hit when Lively accused Baldoni of body shaming her by constantly asking about her weight. His explanation was that he suffered from recurring back injuries and he was trying to figure out if he'd be
yeah, like if he will be able to carry her, his back needs to, like, he needs to do that. He needs to ask her and see how much she has weighed, and then work on with the trainer to see if he can lift her or not. If not, then he will have to do something else, change the script. Why is that a problem?
Able to lift her in the air for one particular scene without ending up in a fucking wheelchair for the rest of his life. Either way, his explanation was ignored by her. According to Baldoni, matters came to a head when Ryan Reynolds himself showed up on set to have it out with him and spent the next 20 minutes berating him and demanding an apology. A producer who witnessed the argument said he'd never seen anything like it in his 40-year career. It was a blatant flex of power and influence and a reminder to Baldoni of who was really in charge here. Anyway, despite all these problems and delays, production finally wrapped in early 2024, but apparently Blake still wasn't done messing with the movie and insisted on being involved in the editing process as well. And because of all the problems she'd caused already when she didn't get her way, the studio reluctantly allowed her to spend a couple of days in the editing bay with Baldoni, which eventually turned into 10 days, which eventually led to Blake bringing in the editor for Deadpool and Wolverine so that she could produce her very own cut of the film, something that was explicitly never in her contracts. In the meantime, Baldoni laboured away to produce his own director's cut, meaning that the studio now had two competing versions of the film to choose from. And when Blake allegedly threatened to not promote the movie unless her cut was officially screened for test audiences, the studio again caved in and tested both versions on the agreement that Lively would back off if her version tested worse. And wouldn't you know it, her version tested worse, but apparently she decided fuck it and insisted the studio release her cut anyway, otherwise she convinced the author to disavow the entire movie. Because, you know, I guess girls are expected to stick together and all that. And once again, the studio caved in to her demands and went with her cut. And because of all her hard work on the movie, she allegedly decided that she deserved a bit more than that executive producer credit in her original agreement and demanded a full PGA producer credit on the movie instead. Now that is actually a pretty big deal, boys and girls. A PGA credit means that she did the bulk of the producing work on the movie, effectively making it her film. Baldoni and the rest rest of the team weren't exactly thrilled by this, but apparently Blake demanded they send letters of support to the Producers Guild of America, and when Sony themselves stepped in to put pressure on them, they eventually gave in and signed the letters under duress. But if they thought that was going to put an end to the bad blood, they were very fucking wrong. According to Baldoni himself, he and his family were banned from attending the film's premiere and had to leave as soon as Blake and the others showed up.
Oh yeah, no, you forgot about the part that they made them watch the premiere in the basement next to all the boxes of juice. The director of the movie and the main actor of the movie had to bring his own family, his whole family, tell them to go to the basement and watch the premiere on some type of a screen.
His name was removed from the posters and he was effectively isolated from the rest of the cast, who all sided with Blake during the promotional tour. Baldoni even claimed that Ryan Reynolds was able to persuade his talent agency to drop him, basically pushing him out of his own movie and stalling his career. There's even a pretty strong theory that Nice Pool was written into the new Deadpool movie.
It's not a theory. The connections Candy Owens, she is our Candy. Candace Owens actually made and talked about every single scene that he put into Deadpool and Wolverine movie. Oh man, the shade.
Specifically to make fun of Baldoni.
Love to get in the mix, but I have low bone density and I have to keep my face safe.
I love the idea.
See, this is like when Justin Baldoni was asking about how much weight does she have, so he knows if he can actually carry her. Like,
idea that he's that fucking petty. Now, all of these conflicts and controversies might have stayed mostly hidden from public view if not for what happened next. See, people began to notice that Baldoni was absent from promotional events with Blake and the rest of the cast. Not only that, but the two of them seemed to be promoting two completely different movies. Baldoni saw the film as a somber and serious exploration of abusive relationships and personal trauma, while Lively was pushing it as a fun girls' night out, like it was the next Barbie or something. Even worse, she was using the promo tour for a movie about domestic abuse as an excuse to shill for her own personal booze brands.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Pretty soon, she began taking flack from people who felt she wasn't treating the film's themes seriously enough. And even worse, her likeable, easygoing girl next door persona was threatened when old interviews resurfaced of her, how can I put this, acting like a bit of an arsehole.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
You can't even say congratulations for being pregnant.
You're talking about shenanigans, right? Put those away!
Pretty soon her reputation was in freefall. But what to do? Well, it turns out Blake knew exactly what to do when she launched a civil action against Baldoni in December 2024, accusing him, amongst other things, of creating a hostile work environment, making inappropriate advances, including improvised kisses during filming that went on for way too long, talking constantly about his past conquests and his addiction to the hub, fat-shaming her in front of the cast and crew, walking into her trailer unannounced when she was topless, and worst of all, hiring a PR crisis management team to publicly destroy her reputation. And at first, most of Hollywood and the legacy media jumped to Lively's defense, because of course they did, and within a matter of hours, Baldoni had been dropped by his talent agency and basically turned into a pariah. And for a lot of people, that would probably be the end of the line. But it turns out that old Justin wasn't about to take this one line down, and pretty soon he fired back with his own legal action against the New York Times, claiming that they'd published false and misleading information about him. And in this case, Justin well and truly brought the receipts, offering up a treasure trove of emails, text messages, and personal communication.
Oh yeah, that's what makes you actually trust his side and be on his side, because he has so many proofs, so much things, while all she and Ryan has is talk, and powerful friends. Oh, and let's not forget the message when she sent him and she said, I'm Khaleesi and I have my own dragons. She doesn't even know what happened to Khaleesi and her dragon.
To back up his claims that Blake was basically a manipulative egomaniac who hijacked the entire project. But then it was time for the Empire to strike back when Blake decided to upgrade her case from a civil complaint into a full-on federal lawsuit against him. Baldoni then responded by suing not just the New York Times, but also launching a $400 million lawsuit against Lively, Reynolds, and their publicist, claiming extortion, defamation, and invasion of privacy. The lawsuit claims that all three of them engaged in a coordinated effort to tarnish his reputation, derail his career, and obscure the film's original purpose of highlighting domestic violence awareness. It also claims that Lively weaponized her influence, media connections, and
Exactly, and that's why I'm so happy that he is doing this, because he needs to put a stop on these powerful personas that they think that they are untouchable.
even her relationship with Taylor Swift to create a false narrative around him. In short, it turned into a complete and utter shit show. What should have been a successful career-making movie has turned into a mess of claims and counterclaims, damaging accusations, and lawsuits that are almost certainly going to cost both sides tens of millions of dollars. But who was actually to blame for all of this? Was it a sleazy director who tried to take advantage of his female co-star and smear her reputation when she wouldn't cooperate? Or was it an egotistical actress who hijacked his movie and used her power and influence to make him a scapegoat? I don't fucking know, but since there seems to be new developments almost daily with this one, I've got a feeling the court cases are going to be very illuminating. Either way, it's definitely fun to point and laugh at. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away
we
now.
are laughing, but other people are struggling right now with it, especially Justin Baldoni and his own family, his wife, and I think he has a child as well. So yeah, this is the thing, you guys. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a trial like Johnny Depp where we're going to be able to react to it and see everything. It's not going to be public. It's not going to be recorded. But definitely we are going to get every day updates about it, and we will see what's going on. I really genuinely hope that Justin Baldoni can prove himself innocent and put an end to this power abuse. I don't like seeing it. I definitely don't like when they do that. And women doing stuff like that and saying that they have been SA'd or harassed in any kind of way when they haven't, when they haven't is actually worse. It's detrimental. It is destroying the incident and situation when it actually did happen. Because of her, a lot of women will not be believed today when they do have a reason to be. So that is not nice. That is not good at all.